Joined by Frankie, Corrado, and TSN Overdrive's Bryan Hayes. Gentlemen, when it comes to the Toronto Maple Leafs, we all know the offseason talk is going to be completely surrounding Mitch Marner's future. Whether he gets an extension, whether he waives his no trade, or whether he insists on playing it out his year. But he's not the only question mark for the Toronto Maple Leafs this offseason. Frankie, besides Mitch Marner, what's the next biggest priority for the Leafs ahead of free agency?
It has to be rebuilding the blue line. Like, this is the opportunity this offseason. There are plenty of options as far as the UFA market goes, especially right-handed options. I would love to see Morgan Rielly have a new fixture, probably a right-handed shot that he could play with for the foreseeable future. And last year, Brad Treliving and the Leafs brass decided that they wanted to build a bigger blue line. I think that's the right path. Build a bigger blue line. See if you can add a little mobility to that size. But rebuilding the blue line has to be priority number one for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think it's pretty clear the top four needs to be addressed. And as Frankie just pointed out, there's multiple right-handed defensemen that are available that are impact guys.
Yeah.
But I don't think it should be overshadowed. The goaltending position needs to be addressed as well. Obviously, they believe in Joseph Woll. He's going to be a part of that tandem in the future, next year, and I think years beyond that. But he's played 39 games in the NHL. He's injured a lot. If you're banking on Woll to be the man, I think that is a massive gamble. I can't imagine the Maple Leafs are willing to take it, whether it's Brossoit, Stolarz, someone's got to come in, right? Because Markstrom's off the table, Olmark's off the table. I don't know if Saros is going to be available. They have to make sure they address the goaltending position.
Both of you so far are talking about looking outside the organization. What issues, if any, can the Leafs address by re-signing their own free agents? Tyler Bertuzzi, Max Domi, potentially Ilya Samsonov, although I think that's unlikely. They're all UFAs. Frankie, should Brad Trill even be focused on bringing any of these guys back into the fold?
Absolutely, Gino. I think Tyler Bertuzzi has a lot to offer to this team, especially when you think about how this team needs to have more playoff success. Like, he does play the type of game that is conducive to success in the playoffs. And as the season went on and he got more comfortable, we saw Tyler Bertuzzi more like himself. It was a sluggish start to the season for him, so I would like to see him come back. And since we were talking about the blue line being a little bit bigger, I think Joel Edmondson, if you bring him back for the right price on a third pair, that's a good defenseman to have on your back end. So those two guys for sure. And I would say if you can bring back Max Domi at the right price, I wouldn't necessarily give him too much term. I wouldn't necessarily give him too much AAV, but at the right price, I like having Max Domi on the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah, I like all three guys, but they're all UFAs. They're all going to want term. They're all going to want money. So they're not all going to come back. I think Edmondson is a sneaky guy, though, in that third pair. You look at what Florida just did. They had Ekman-Larsson and they had Kulikov on the third pairing. Veteran guys. Don't ask them to do too much. Colorado, the same thing with the Johnson brothers on the third pair. Go out there, give me 15 to 17 minutes, play with size, play simple, kill penalties. That's the modern NHL. You need cheap size on your third pairing. I think Edmondson fits that.
It's going to be interesting to watch this all unfold, because this much I can tell you. There will be no shortage of stories coming out of Toronto Maple Leaf camp this offseason.